I think you have to wake up and realize Gensler is crystal clear on what he wants. He wants to have Bitcoin as a security. Go in there, work out a deal, and obviously they think it's a security. What's so wrong with that? You could get $1 trillion worth of institutional interest if you could finally get a resolution on this. Meanwhile, back at the farm, crypto's going nowhere, and the value of the Coinbase equity continues to decline. What institution wants to have an account with leadership that's suing their regulator? I mean, how dumb is that? I mean, how long does this have to go on?
Hello and welcome to Crypto Street. In this video, we have the privilege of featuring Kevin O'Leary, who will share valuable insights into the SEC crackdown and the ongoing struggles in the crypto industry. Today, our main focus will be on unraveling the secrets of Bitcoin's future. However, before we dive into our discussion, let's first take a closer look at the recent developments in the cryptocurrency market. One significant development is the SEC's request to freeze Binance's U.S. assets worldwide. If approved, this order would compel the exchange to repatriate the fiat currency and crypto assets held by its U.S. customers. This move by the SEC has raised concerns and could have a significant impact on Binance's operations. In response to the regulatory scrutiny, Binance's U.S. entity has already suspended trading for several pairs, including Bitcoin, Tether, and Binance USD. These actions indicate the challenges and disruptions faced by the exchange amid the ongoing regulatory crackdown. Now let's begin our enlightening discussion with Kevin O'Leary.
Listen, I applaud the original founders of this nascent industry over a decade ago. The Kryptonians or the crypto cowboys, whatever you want to call them. But they represent a tiny fraction of invested capital globally. They are nothing burgers. And at the end of the day, we're never going to get anywhere until we get the real money behind crypto. The only way you're going to do that is stop fighting with the regulator. You could look at any index you wish, but probably the one that most people look at is the price of Bitcoin. Stalled up between 25 and 30,000. It's never going to go up for one singular reason. There is absolutely zero institutional interest in this asset. And there never will be while there are crypto wars going on between the regulator and the centralized and decentralized support services. And so look at what's going on with Binance. That's a whole different set of charges and allegations. And then, of course, Coinbase, which has been bashing its head against the SEC 3 different rounds. It's time to stop doing this. I think the industry needs resolution. And frankly, I'm happy it's happening. I have my own personal ideas on how to accelerate this, but this is a good outcome. It's time we did this. The SEC is crystal clear on how they feel about crypto. They're allowing about 200 different tokens there on that platform, and they consider them securities. And the CEO of Coinbase does not. Now, you can be Don Quixote forever. You can fight the windmills forever. You can take the leadership charge and say, I'm going to change the mind of the SEC and its staff. Or you can wake up and smell the roses and deal in reality. If I were a shareholder of Coinbase, I'd fire him. I'd get new leadership. He's done, as far as I'm concerned. This isn't working. They've wiped out a majority of the market cap of the company since it's gone public. I think the winds of change are going to blow through that boardroom. I think you have to wake up and realize Gensler is crystal clear on what he wants. He wants to have Bitcoin as a security. If it provides any kind of yield, that's a dividend. If it goes up and you sell it, you pay capital gains. If it goes down, you have capital losses. The same with all the other tokens. If you have a stable coin and you get some kind of interest, well, that's interest, and you're going to pay income tax on it. I think it's really clear what they want, and I think I'd rather have that resolved. New leadership should go in there, and look, it's a personal opinion. Don't shoot the messenger. This is how I feel about it, and if I were on the board, I'd definitely let my voice be heard. Go in there, work out a deal, and obviously they think it's a security. What's so wrong with that? You could get $1 trillion worth of institutional interest if you could finally get a resolution on this. Meanwhile, back at the farm, crypto's going nowhere, and the value of the Coinbase equity continues to decline. It's so obvious. And by the way, it's also getting really boring. I've seen this story so many times over so many years. Enough. Let's resolve this and let's move on as an industry. Let's turn the page. Out with the old, in with the new. Now, if that means we have to change management in places like Binance and Coinbase, who cares? You've got the whole industry here to move forward on. There's lots of potential, a lot of technology, a lot of interesting ideas being put forward, but it's going to go nowhere while everybody's at war with the regulator. I think it's come to a head now. Let the free market determine which is the one you want to use. I would personally want to use a stable coin for transactions, faster, more transparent, more productive, less cost. I get it. But we can't do that until we resolve two things. Determine what that stable coin is, what the rules are. And if the issuer has to be FDIC insured, great. I'm sure Circle, I'm an investor in, for full disclosure, would become an FDIC insured bank to be able to issue. But also the centralized platforms that hold it, in the case of Coinbase being so-called leader, they cannot continue to litigate with the SEC. What institution wants to have an account with leadership that's suing their regulator? I mean, how dumb is that? I mean, how long does this have to go on for? How many times do you have to see the movie before you get sick of it? I'm bored to death with it.
Bitcoin's treatment of the 200-week moving average at $26,500 has left the market in suspense as traders are unsure of its next move. As market participants eagerly awaited signals, Bitcoin's volatility subsided leading up to the Wall Street Open on June 8. Following the brief period of volatility related to industry news events, the cryptocurrency returned to sideways trading after finding support and bouncing back from 3-month lows. At present, all eyes are on the 200-week moving average WMA, which has become a crucial point of focus for Bitcoin traders and analysts. The way Bitcoin interacts with this moving average will likely provide important insights into its future price trajectory. Davidson Trader tweeted that the LTF bear case for #Bitcoin. The long/short ratio is continuing to increase. We are currently sitting right on the 200 WMA. The US market tends to sell when they wake up, especially if there's more negative news. And he also added, the LTF bull case for Bitcoin, Predator is green on the hourly and there is just bullish momentum on PMO. Funding rates are also starting to decline by a very small amount.
I read the charges. Those are serious allegations, including cross-pollination of accounts capital. I mean, you've seen this movie. It was called FTX just a few months ago. That BNB token is $50 billion market cap, and 10 accounts are 50% of the assets. If any one of those guys want to sell, it's FTX Part 2. I mean, you've got to know right now, billions of dollars are if I had an account in finance, I would be exiting Dodge immediately.
Yeah,
and they're trying to freeze the assets in the U.S. That's what you do in fraud. I actually have compassion for him today. I feel sorry for him today. He is a great entrepreneur that perhaps didn't read the room. He didn't read the tea leaves, all of those analogies. He had to know this was coming. There was a constant buzz of regulators concerned. Remember the reason that Sam Bankman-Fried bought back his equity from CZ for $2.1 billion was CZ would not disclose anything to regulators anywhere in the world, and FTX could never get a license because he had 20% ownership on their balance sheet. And that was a great move when those two went to war with each other. CZ bankrupt, that's the allegation that came out in the charges during the hearings on the Hill with the Senate Banking Committee last December. And that was the beginning of CZ's problems. All of a sudden, every senator wakes up. They're starting to get tired of all of these allegations and every 6 months having more crypto hearings when the next exchange blows up and goes to zero and $2 or $3 or $4 billion is evaporated. So you've lost all of that political support. How can you be surprised that Gensler is not going after him? And how can he be surprised? But this will not end well for him. And I think the real investment thesis that I'm going to make now, I'm going to start investing in regulated exchanges that have been so far unprofitable because they were competing against the behemoth in Binance that had no rules attached to it. It's the most profitable business in the world to be able to issue tokens anytime, anywhere, at any price you want, and have no regulator scrutinizing you. And that's exactly what he was doing. Now, it's a different story. In a matter of a single day, that world has changed for him. And I say the regulators start to starve him of oxygen. And so maybe it's time to buy that regulated exchange in Abu Dhabi. Maybe I buy more of the Canadian regulated exchange. What about that one in London I was looking at? They're all interesting to me because the accounts will slowly leave Binance and go to where they're regulated.
All right.
Popular trader King LaCrypto and other optimistic market participants are eyeing a potential repeat of the upside seen in early March. This positive sentiment stems from the belief that Bitcoin's current price action could lead to significant gains, similar to what was observed earlier in the year. As reported by Cointelegraph, this previous bullish momentum propelled Bitcoin to reach highs of $31,000. The optimism surrounding the possibility of a similar upward movement has contributed to the ongoing discussions and speculations within the crypto community. Thank you for watching. We appreciate your support and engagement. Your insights on the future direction of the world of cryptocurrencies are highly valued. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content.